Hello, Augies Worldwide. I'm Dave Kassler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, here with another episode of Ask Dave. Today's question comes to us from Kevin, KE8HWH. And it's this: I'm planning a vertical HF antenna with radials on the ground with up to 1,000 watts. So he's got an amplifier. Within feet of the end of the radials is a 500-gallon aquatic pond with goldfish. If it's that big, the goldfish get pretty doggone good sized here. Okay, any thoughts on whether the RF would impact the fish? Well, they're in an interesting location. Let's draw your antenna here. You've got an antenna and you've got radials. Now the radials going out in all directions here. Okay, and then at the edge of the radials, he's got, well, we should use brown for earth. He's got a pond over here. Sometimes I know they call these koi ponds. I don't know why, but they do. Okay, and he's got fish swimming in them. Okay, and he wants to know if he's gonna have a little fish fry on his hands. So the answer to that is probably not, because your signal pattern has almost zero signal radiated along the ground, and you get a pattern like that up from the antenna where you have a deep null right at the ground. Now that's in the far field. Now the fish are in the near field. Okay, and let's make a definition of far field and near field. Okay. All these radials out here. There is a length, it's about 2 or 3 wavelengths around here called the near field. In the near field, things are extremely chaotic because every point on this thing is radiating with a slightly different phase. And with each one of these radiating, you know, they're kind of going out like this and so on. And then you get the reflections off the ground, which create the pattern like this, because it comes down and reflects off the ground. Now, when you get into the far field, is when things sort themselves out. When you actually have a wave front, okay, a wave front going away from the antenna. And when you do antenna measurements, you should do them in the far field because that's what happens far away from the antenna. You're not trying to communicate to somebody in the near field. Now there is a technology called near field communications, and this is how the little tap on your card works. And the thing is that it doesn't actually form a far field that's strong enough to communicate with. Okay, so your fish are in the near field, which means you've got waves and stuff going every which way. Now the saving grace is that they're in water. Okay, now this is not pure water, it's not distilled water. If it were distilled water, it would be an insulator and therefore transparent to the radio waves. It is not pure water, it's sort of fishy. It's got pollutants, the fish stuff, old fish food, everything like that. So it is a little bit more of a conductor. And of course it's sitting right on the ground, which is a conductor, unless you've got a rubber sheet there. A lot of these koi ponds have a rubber sheet along the bottom like that. Okay. What you could do if you want is lay a wire here and connect it to a ground rod. But I mean, considering the amount of time that you transmit versus the amount of time that nothing is happening, your duty cycle for those fish is very, very low. Plus the actual communications, if you're at HF, especially low HF, you're not going to do anything to those fish. Now the fish, I think goldfish get to be about that big. So if you're talking 70 centimeters, you're getting to halfway on those fish. Fish act like little dipoles at 70 centimeters, but you're not doing anything 70 centimeters here. You're doing HF. The waves are too long, much too long for the fish. So I will tell you this, that I do not think you are going to have a problem. If you notice a problem, the problem, because radio waves are non-ionizing, if you have a problem, it's because the fish somehow get cooked. Now, how can you tell? The first thing that will go will be the eyes. And if you suddenly see cataracts on your fish's eyes, which of course makes them blind, but that'll be the first indication that you are getting RF down in there. And you need to either move the pond or move your antenna. I really sincerely doubt you're going to have that problem. But if you do notice cataracts forming, that is a cooking of the eye, center of the eye. It's like an egg. You pour an egg into a pan and it's clear and all of a sudden it flashes to white. That's what happens when you put the non-ionizing cooking type radiation, heat, onto an egg or something very sensitive like the cataracts, and you can create a problem like that. I really, really, really doubt that will happen. I'm never say never, but I don't think you're going to have a problem. Now, if you start using your transmitter for a high-powered shortwave all the time, shortwave broadcasting, yeah, I'd move them away, just out of an abundance of caution. But I think you're fine. Okay, so there you have it. If any of you watching would like to throw a little something into the pot to help keep the channel going, go to dcasler.com/support. Please subscribe, please click like, and don't forget to send in your entry for the monthly drawing. The monthly drawing is held every month on the first Thursday of the following month, and I will take all the envelopes that I get. What I need from you is your name, call sign, mailing address, and a phone number in case I have to call you about it. All of the entries will be destroyed after the drawing to preserve privacy. And the one who wins, I'll send your entry back to you, okay, so that you have it. I don't keep any records, so your privacy is preserved here. Okay, send it to Dave Kassler, KE0OG, PO Box 98, Ridgeway, Colorado, 81432. And until next time, 73.